morning and welcome to council meeting for January 17th, 2017. I get roll call, please.
Councilmember Aguilar,
Present.
Councilmember Sicairos,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Serma,
Present.
Mayor Soria.
Present.
For the record, all council members, Mayor Pro Tem, and Mayor in attendance here today.
And next we'll go to closed session announcements.
Mayor, no reportable actions were taken during closed session. None. Yes, Mayor, members of the council. So this item is really where we left off at the meeting on December 20th. Just as a recap, as we all know, on November 8th, there was a general election. 3 council members were selected and the mayor. Out of the 3 council members, we had a Councilmember-elect Kang, who decided not to fill the position and not to be sworn in and fill the position of council member, and that was due to him being a city employee currently, wanted to remain a city employee. At the December 20th meeting, the council, we went through the options as far as how do you fill a vacancy, since that left a vacancy on the city council. Just to recap, that came from Government Code Section 36512, which says that within 60 days of the vacancy, the council has a choice either to appoint somebody to fill the vacancy or to call a special election, or another procedure which we didn't really get into because there wasn't really time to do an ordinance which sets out the, hey, next time this happens, here's what we're going to do. The council, in discussing whether to call a special election or to appoint, council decided to move forward in the process of appointment. The council felt as though it wasn't needed to go, the council didn't need to go put this out in the newspaper and do formal interviews and whatnot. There was discussion regarding staff contacting the council members or the folks that were running for council member that were not elected. Staff did do that to gauge whether they were still interested. We had Alex McCabe, Mario Mendoza, and Jason Roth indicated that they would be interested in serving as council member and being appointed. And Adnan Bath indicated that he was not interested in the position at this time. So council, we're really here for the council to discuss the appointment of an individual for the vacancy. And again, recap, there's no set procedure on how folks get appointed. There's nothing in state law that says here is the process. And we went through this last time. The reality is somebody makes a nomination. If that gets a second, then that gets voted on. If it passes by a majority of your quorum here, that person is then appointed. If the motion fails, then it would be open up for another nomination. If that gets a second, then we would go through the voting procedure. The council also has some time, since the vacancy occurred on December 20th when the installation of the officers happened, so the 60-day clock started then. Lastly, the person, if you decide to go through the appointment process, the person appointed would serve until the new person would come in from the November 2018 election. This appointment's only for 2 years because it happened within really the first half of the term, of the 4-year term. It goes to the election. Instead of serving out the entire 4 years, you would get a person to complete this term at the next election, November 2018. Just wanted to give you a quick recap. If you have any questions, council, I'll be happy to answer.
to public comment at 7:11.
Good evening, council. Well, it's nice to be here on this side. Well, if I don't get up here, then I don't know. I won't be a good friend. But I sat up there with Alex McCabe. I think he did a great job the last year or so, or a year and a half. He was up here, so I really look forward to whether whatever decision you guys make. But I think he did a great job. He did a lot of work for the city. He takes a lot of time. I know that he's very busy with his own job, but if you guys appoint him, I think that'd be great for the city. And if you guys don't, then that's a decision that you guys will make. But I just have to state that. So yeah, he just did a great job. So thank you.
I'd like to just reaffirm what I had said last time. Basically, if anybody agrees with me, I would like to just go by the steps. Let the public decide. The public decided number 4 seed, go to the number 4 seed, extend it to number 4 seed, and thereforth. And I'd like to make a motion to appoint number 4 seed, which would be Alex McCabe, am I right?
That is correct. And Councilmember, if you're making a motion, I know there is a resolution attached, and the resolution of the City Council of the City of Livingston appointing, and then there's a blank to fill the vacancy on the City Council, and there's where you would put in the name. You are correct. The number 4th vote getter was Alex McCabe.
So then I make a motion for resolution filling the vacant seat on the City Council by appointment with Alex McCabe.
You have a motion. Do I have a second?
Are you gonna call for any extra comments?
Any comments?
Yeah, I have a few things. I know that in the past, the council has interviewed for vacancies. My only comment is, we want to be consistent. Maybe the council can consider being consistent and follow that procedure. I know we still have time. Is that correct? If we were to interview?
Yeah, the 60 days would be from December 20th, so you have till, what would it be, around February 18th, I believe, February 18th, 19th?
Yeah, that was just my comment. I mean, I think consistency is important just for trust with public, and if that's something he has done in the past, maybe we should really consider doing something like that.
So there is a motion on the
Motion still stands. I
on the
mean,
floor.
it's
Any
not,
comments, Mayor?
No, I don't have any comments yet, do you?
I do have a comment. I have listened to different sides and different ideas, and I agree with Council Member Sicaros. We do have a lot of work ahead of us, and like not to delay the process further. We have worked with Mr. Alex McCabe, and he served council and the community as best as he could. So I'm gonna go ahead and second that motion. Can I get roll call, please?
Councilmember Aguilar,
Yes.
Councilmember Siqueiros,
yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra,
Yes.
Mayor Soria.
Yes.
Motion passes by vote 4-0.
Congratulations. Councilmember, we'll give you a little time to come up. I think the city manager was gonna go get the oath. City of Livingston, Merced County, California, certificate of appointment and oath of office. State of California, County of Merced. Know all men by these presents. Alex McCabe is hereby appointed by the undersigned to the position of City Council Member. Oh. Yeah. There we go. I state your name.
I, Alex McCabe,
Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations. Congratulations, Councilmember McCabe.
Good evening, Council. Congratulations again, Councilmember Alex McCabe. Taking out my cheat sheet. Well, it's been an honor serving the residents of District 1 and, of course, all Merced County. I'm excited here to be here, and especially on this side, and knowing that I have the support of all my district, especially Livingston, where I've been with you guys all these years. So just been going this is my third week going in, and I want to thank all of you guys that came to my swearing in on the 10th, on the 3rd. So it was very nice, and it's very feels good that you're able to help out so many people, and there's so many people that they've come to me in my office, and feeling a lot of hope that maybe it wasn't there, but whatever difference we can make us as elected officials, I do, it makes you feel better. It makes you feel, want to work harder to help everyone in our county, and especially here, in Livingston, where I started at all. So there's a lot of need, not only in Livingston, South Merced. Now there's talk about having a store in South Merced, which is very much needed. There's so much, they're frustrated because they can't do a lot of stuff in the city of Merced. But I think they have a good new mayor and city council out there. So hopefully it's more progressive, that we'll be able to look at all of Merced, not just on the north part, and not forget certain parts of of us, the city of Merced, and as well as Planada and Legrand and Oneida. It's a big area, so I'm just hoping that I can bring and just give support, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of need everywhere. They're frustrated they can't fix their parks, their restrooms. They're not being open during the summer. Not a lot of stuff happens, and they make the calls into the county, or they used to make the calls into the county, and nothing would get solved, and the streets are, I think we have it nice here. We have a lot of sidewalks, and there's a lot of need in our communities. But also looking at all my committees. The last couple of weeks I've been on all committees, and all the appointments have been there, trying to find out who's on the committees, especially with the MAC committees in the Grand and Planada, and and just drive around in South Merced and here in Livingston, and then the other commissions that I'm going to be at. I'm going to be on the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority, but that was through MCAG. Did you guys make an appointment already on MCG? I can't remember if it was last meeting or.
Not yet.
That needs to be done because, well, the good thing is there's no meeting on MCAG this month, but next month I think you guys gotta have it on the first meeting. That way we'll be able to have a representative on there. Whoever you guys choose, let me know, and we'll be working together. Now, I'm thankful that I'll be working closely with Livingston and who's ever Livingston. We have a 2 tag team that we can help our communities a lot more, a lot better. So I'm looking forward to that. On the revenue sharing agreement, I already talked to Darren, who's our chair. We picked Darren as our chair. I go as a policy, rotate. So he's District 3, so he's up this year. So we picked him, and obviously with him being the chair and myself in my district here, we'll be working with our CEO. Now I have a meeting this week with Jim Brown to go over the main issues that the county on that side had, on what were the issues between Livingston and the county. So I've been pushing it, but I just trying to let everybody catch up, and because they're having meetings with all the new supervisors, especially us, because it's been a while since we had 3 new supervisors. So we're all excited and trying to educate ourselves and to learn as much as we can. So commissions, there's a lot of I'm on 5 or 6 commissions, so I'm looking forward to appointing several people out there on the commissions. But I'll let you guys know. I'll bring it up next meeting, what I'm looking at, and to see if there's anybody interested in Livingston and throughout my district. So thank you, and I think that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Supervisor Espinoza, and again, thank you for your service to the city of Livingston.
Mr. Mayor, I do. Yeah, that's what I was asking for the floor. Okay. No, I was asking for the floor. So Supervisor Espinoza, I would like to set up a meeting with you and our newly not appointed but elected council member Aguilar. We have a couple of ideas. We'd like to talk with you so you can meet with your CEO, and then also, do you think it would be beneficial if we have a committee available for the revenue sharing, or how would you?
Yeah, I think it's better if you guys have two people. I don't think that if you want to, with Odie, of course, if you guys want to, set up a committee, and I can come down and, let you guys see other main issues, and then we can all get together with our staff and the committees on both sides, so we can go over it. Once I'll let you know. Yeah. But yeah, come on. If you want me to come down here, meet you guys here in Livingston, or you guys in Merced? You live in you work in Merced too, right?
Yeah,
and
both
of you.
We'll be in touch with
if you guys are going to be the committee on it.
Because I know that Councilmember Aguilar, he had some ideas he'd like to push forward, and I don't know if he knew enough to ask a question right now, but I told him that we'll get this going, so we will meet with you. And if, Councilmember Aguilar, do you want to bring up the item, what you want to talk about?
Just in the future about perhaps a fire department, a fire station.
Okay. Yeah, we can surely.
Yeah.
Just write up the main points, and we can look at looking for grant funding for
yeah.
For that.
What I know that I brought it to your attention, and because of Mr. Aguilar's concerns, is that you already know that we have a big need for a better fire station. We have a lot of money. We're trying to do the upgrades, but if we can see some sort of light at the end of the tunnel for a joint venture with the county, with the city, and maybe some other ideas, then maybe we can hold that money off instead of upgrading it, maybe towards new stations. That's what we like to talk to you about, so.
Okay. Yeah, certainly we'll push it. Yeah, we'll meet with fire chief. Yeah, we'll get into a
Yeah.
meeting and
And we'll, of course, we'll have our staff involved and everybody else, so, okay?
any other questions?
Not for me, Mr. Mayor, I'm done, thank you.
An item.
Yeah, Mr. Supervisor, I saw that you did a tour of the water damage from the recent floods.
Correct.
How significant was the damage in the county?
You know what, it's significant, but I know it affected more of Gustine and, around the Gustine, Newman area, even though Newman is not in our county. But I think receded pretty fast. So I know there's a few homes out there that got flooded, and they were, I guess by now it's kind of receded a lot. But Highway 59 was closed for a while,
Oh, okay.
and I think now it's receded. But I think now tomorrow it's supposed to rain again, so we'll see. Even though we want a lot more water, but I think that the county's getting better prepared now with the more water's coming, and rain. I heard also too around Le Grand there was some flooding area over there, but there was no homes affected over there. So certainly we want to look at the rent. That's why the sheriff and the CO asked us if we want to do a tour. But there's not much. When we were up there, going over I-5 and Santanella, actually the sheriffs were surprised that the waters had receded so fast. But I think it's due to the ground, in the past had been so dry, and I think that's going to help. So, yeah. I have a temporary assistant, my son Matthew. But I don't know if he'll be coming with me again because he wants a raise already. So, all right. So, hey, it's a pleasure to be here. So, anything else? You guys have of course, my phone number. So let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. And we look forward to working with you. And I know you have some work to do with your district, and Livingston looks forward to working with you and getting in a thriving mode, especially being a resident of Livingston and Merced County. There's a lot of work to be done, and I think we're in good hands. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. Congratulations, Councilmember McCabe, and also to our newly elected supervisor. I want to say that was probably the longest and best supervisor report I've seen here in 5 years. So thank you for that. I'd like to do an annual update, a little bit more comprehensive than a kind of a monthly update for the police department. If this will work. I might have to ask some assistance. I need to call, phone a friend, battalion chief. It's actually not working, so I think either the battery. Let me go down. Yeah, is that the first one? Yeah. So this is our kind of our monthly burglary report. We've had 9 in December, 3 vehicles, 2 residents. One suspect was arrested, was under influence, and then 4 businesses. And so we've got a couple of months kind of low, and then they start to pick up a little bit. And next slide. One person we had this subject arrested twice, once for breaking their house and once for breaking into cars at the high school. And so I'd like to just put out, if anybody sees him coming to door, we'd like to know about it. I believe he's one of the main folks involved in breaking into houses and cars in our city. And so our officers do keep an eye out for him, but if anybody in our residents see him coming to your door, knocking the door, please let us know. Animal control, 14 dogs taken in, 4 citations issued, and 10 animals from the shelter out into returned owner, adopted, or rescue groups. Next slide, please. Gang enforcement, 10 interviews, 2 gang sweeps. As Sergeant Ramirez put it, it was kind of a slow month in December, yet as things start to pick up, we will implement more sweeps and more compliance checks within our community. We had our Cops for Kids events. I want to thank all the folks that supported the event. We had a great turnout, and I appreciate the support for council that were there. If you were there, you know what it was all about. There's a lot of work that goes into this event. And so we had a lot of the groups. We had the Key Club, a lot of explorers, a lot of the local kids actually helping to prepare the gifts and prepare the room for that event. So we got about 3 or 4 slides in a row here. If I can just, next slide. As always, our explorers are always there to help out. And not only for Cops for Kids, but the same day we actually visit our senior center, and we have about 20 seniors that we arranged to provide, well, not us, the big man in North Pole, Santa came to visit and actually presented all the seniors with a gift. And then the actual day of the event, we'll always have a festive atmosphere. And then our officers do a good job, and even wearing reindeer antlers, and provide the kids with different toys as they leave. And then Santa and Mrs. Claus are over there to greet all the kids and give them their each child that has pre-signed up receives 2 gifts from Santa. And I just want to thank, we have many sponsors, the teachers from the high school, the Methodist Women's Group, Dallas Distributing, and Foster Farms, and numerous other groups that actually support the program and are able to get every child 2 gifts that attend the event. Now, kind of statistic-wise, I want to present council and the members of the public our UCR Part 1 crimes comparison for 2014 and 2015. And it's hard to see the numbers. You can see they're actually color-coded, the red being a reduction, but there's only one red there. From 2014 to 2015, we had a 25% overall increase in Part 1 crimes. That includes all the serious crimes: homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, simple assault, burglary, larceny, stolen autos, and arson. And so every category was increased. So overall, Part 1 crimes increased 25%. Next slide. And now we're going to compare 2015 to 2016. About half of them were reduced. We had 0 homicides last year, reduction in rapes, reduction in robberies, reduction in larcenies, and stolen autos. And then several other property crimes went up. And then so basically an overall increase of 7% of Part 1 crimes from 2015 to 2016. Our calls for service comparison with 2015 to 2016. We've got 3 priorities: priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. The totals are there. Overall, we had about 100 calls, more priority calls in 2016. And just to bring you up to speed as far as the priority. Priority 1 are the more serious crimes, the crimes in progress, the felonies in progress, where there's a member of the public is endangered. Priority 2s are kind of like the crime reports, but yet the more low crime report, maybe a cold burglary call, a cold stolen call. Those are priority 2, and then priority 3s are more of the very lower priority, such as maybe an officer is going to go out and do a premise check on a location, those type of things. And then our average response times, and if you note, the average response times from 2015 to 2016 We've got basically goals to meet our response times. We try to meet priority ones within 4 minutes once a call is received. Priority 2 is 10 minutes. Priority 3 is 15 minutes. For the most part, they're within the 4-minute range, all 3 priorities. Yet each increased probably about 30 seconds in response times for 2016. There's several different reasons. One, there was actually quite a bit more incidents throughout the city in 2016, and also we were probably a little bit more short-staffed from 2015. So they were increased a little bit. And then the average clearance time, 35 minutes for 2015 and 37 minutes for 2016. And then the actual cases. So when we have a report under 2015 Livingston PD total reports, that there were 1,451 reports taken, an actual report taken by one of our officers in 2015. 2015 in Gustine, there were a little over 1,000. And the reason I bring that up is because we provide dispatch services for Gustine. So our dispatchers are busy answering phones, taking information down, providing the information to Gustine Police Department to take the report. 2016, the reports went down a little bit. The total numbers were 2,179. And then if you look at the incidents are those calls. Any type of call comes in, whether it's a report, whether it's a car stop, whether it's a premise check, a school check, those are recorded as incidences. So between Gustine and Livingston in 2015, there was a little over 37,000 incidents. 2016, there were over 39,000. So the incidents went up a little bit. And again, I bring this up for the fact that our dispatchers are actively assisting in our commitment to Gustine PD to respond to 911 calls, respond to calls for service. After hours at Gustine PD, every call that goes to City Hall over at Gustine comes to our dispatch center, and our dispatchers do a great job providing professional service to Gustine Police Department. Current staffing levels were authorized 2 sergeants, we're full strength, 2 corporals, full strength. We're authorized 13 officers, and there was an increase of 1 because of the council approving the contract with the high school. So we're able to backfill an officer position because one of the officers are actually going to the high school. And so we're down 3 positions. Full-time dispatchers were at full strength. Part-time dispatchers were down 1 position. And over the last several years, we lost several officers to different agencies for basically pay incentives. And we actually have our patrol officers. We have a very young force, and so we're doing the best we can to ensure that those officers are trained and well suited to provide a service to our community. We actually did 2 separate recruitments for officers over the last 6 months, and on the last recruitment, we have 4 officers that are completed backgrounds, completed the psychological exams, and several have to go to medical. But we're hoping within the next 1 to 2 council meetings we could bring 3 new officers to be sworn in to fill those vacancies. Challenges, and I've talked about this over the last year or so. Prop 109 continues. It's the bill that got passed in 2011. Basically realignment, allow the local jurisdictions to handle those who've committed crimes and might be in jail, send them to the local level. Prop 37, which was passed in 2014, reducing 7 felonies to misdemeanors. Again, it's got a kind of an array of success. Some cities might be working a little bit. Some cities have increased recidivism up to 60%. Next slide. Prop 57 was passed by the voters, reducing sentencing for nonviolent offenders. That yet we don't have any impact yet or to analyze how that's going to impact our local community. Prop 64 is going to bring an array of different laws and legislations that we have to abide by, but we have to make sure the officers are familiar with the new laws, familiar with everything that's associated with Prop 64. It's a lot to grasp, and it's not yet fully implemented. There's a lot of work that's still being done in Sacramento at the state level to implement Prop 64. And then body in-car video requests have basically exploded. Now that we have that, which it's a great tool for the department to gather evidence, but now that the evidence is there, we provide a lot of CDs to various groups, including the district attorney's office, a lot of requests from attorneys and things like that, and that is very labor intensive for our staff to produce those videos. Misdemeanor criminal non-filings. This was a court ruling that came out last year, and in short, a subject filed suit because he was arrested for DUI by CHP. He was arrested, but charges were never filed. He filed suit to remove any reference to an arrest in his criminal history. The courts agreed with him, and now anybody who is arrested for misdemeanor yet not charged, our department will have to go into our records management system and remove any reference to an arrest. And this is retroactive for 3 years. So this huge task has yet to begin, yet we are committed to ensuring that we comply with the law, and so that's something that we will be taking on this year. Also, Assembly Bill 953. This was passed basically for smaller agencies. We will not have to report on our statistics or demographic profiles until 2021, so we've got some time to prepare for that. Yet larger agencies have to begin as soon as the next couple years. There's going to be at least 13 specific demographics that need to be captured and reported to the state, and so that's something we're hoping the records management system that we have, it'll be an easy task to capture those 13 demographics and report it with a click of a few buttons. And if that's the case, it'll be a lot easier than trying to calculate those demographics by a human person going through the calls for service. Now our highlights for last year. As I reported, our department was the recipient of the James K. Wilson Excellent Community Policing Award in March. Several members for our department, including the superintendent from the school district and the director of mental health services, I went to the Chiefs Conference down in Ontario, and it was basically a very large luncheon event, and we were proud to receive that award amongst all our colleagues, our chief colleagues throughout the state. Several different field trips with the different schools here. This was Yosemite National Park's 125th anniversary. Our Livingston Explorer at the Kite Festival. Our Livingston Police Explorers competition, where they received several awards for different exercises such as car stops, report writing, interviews, dealing with domestic violence issues, things like that. And that's actually going to be occurring here in April again, and we're preparing our explorers to compete in those various competitions. We had the President and Ms. Obama visit the national park to celebrate 150 years of the national park system, and our students were asked to participate in that. It was a special occasion for us. I represented the department at a large India Republic Day celebration in Milpitas at the Indian Cultural Center, and it was actually a very large Bay Area-wide event, and it was nice to be able to present the Consul General with one of our banners. As you might remember, we had some serious issues with our heating and air conditioning that went out on top of the building, so we were able to replace that. We implemented some significant improvements to our dispatch center to include crime mapping and some additional security video footage, not only from the high school, middle school, but also from our department that are displayed in dispatch. We acquired a new horse, Sonny. He came from Ohio, and so he's been part of the. Now we've got 3 police horses, and myself and Officer Cruz were actually out yesterday riding around. Officer Zeus Valdivia was the recipient of the Officer of the Year Award for Merced County for the Livingston Police Department, and we were there to support him in that endeavor. National Night Out, the first Tuesday in August every year is National Night Out, and we are happy to participate in that. This year we actually held an open house, and this was Lieutenant Soria's idea to actually bring the community into the police department and do demonstrations, and just let them get a feel for what our police department is like. Officers Kang and Gill represented the department at a very large collaboration event in Ceres last year and presented, I believe they call him a senator from India, who's actually visiting from India, one of our banners. Myself and Lieutenant Soria again participated in the Ledger Day in Sacramento, meeting with our different legislators who we work very closely with, Adam Gray and Anthony Canella. But it's a good opportunity for all the chiefs to show support for their individual communities and talk about things that are important to the community, but also pending legislation that's coming about and how we would ask them to view that legislation, whether it's pro or against. We did every March we do an annual department inspection, a photo, an awards luncheon, and a meeting, and emphasize goals of our department to all members. And so we take a photo and put it on our website. Kiki, our narcotics canine, is currently training in Santa Rosa. It's a 5-week course, and he's with his new handler, Officer Kang, and they're training to be a resource and an asset to our local community when they have any suspected narcotics violations. And they will be an asset to the high school and to the middle school. You know, if the officers happen to be patrolling out there and are walking around and maybe some backpacks might have something in them, they're able to detect that. The storm, and I know there was some discussion of the storm earlier. We actually had some damage to our police roof, our police department roof, which was wind damage. Basically, the wind caught the top edge of our department. This is the top. The top of our building has almost like a like an alcove area, and the wind caught the top of it and pulled some of the roofing down. And so we had a company come out in emergency. What do you call it? Basically put some tarps and everything over it with our public works department to try to resolve the issue. If you've seen the weather, it's going to rain for the next 3 days again heavily, so we need to get that repaired ASAP. Another photo of that. And I just want to commend our city manager and Noe from Public Works. All hands were on deck to prepare for the last storm, which was supposed to be one of the biggest storms in 20 years. And so I know city manager was out buying sandbags on his day. It's off and bringing them up here, and Noe had all the folks involved in making sure that we were prepared for our residents. And I believe almost 1,500 sandbags went out that day, actually over 2 day, the weekend period, to our residents to prepare for that. And I want to also commend our battalion chief, Jeremy Ron from CAL FIRE. He's the director for emergency operations for our county, and we've been involved in conference calls, in-person meetings, preparing for the storm. And one of the things that we emphasize is the Merced County's Everbridge. Any resident here can sign up. It's simple. Just go to www.co.merced.ca/US/alert, and you can sign up to receive text messages, email messages, basically anything that might come up emergency-wise, and we need to notify you immediately. And that's something we've got some. I want to say probably 1,500 people in our city that have signed up over the last 2-3 years. But again, we want to emphasize this with our community to sign up and get alerts in the event that we do have a very serious emergency and send something out to provide resources. And I think that's it. I'll be happy to answer any questions. All right, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, citizens of Livingston City. I want to echo the chief's gratitude as far as having a member from the supervisor Espinoza here. It actually feels good to have someone from the county here that can hear our concerns and maybe build that bridge between the county and the city, so that way we can address some of the concerns here in Livingston. This here's the city, report for Livingston City Fire Department. It's an annual report for the year. Within the city, we ran a total, this is from January 1 to December 31st. We ran a total of 744 medical aids within the city. 9 of those were cold blues. 21 vegetation fires, 73 vehicle accidents, 11 vehicle fires, 4 structure fires, 17 debris fires, 16 alarm soundings, 9 false alarms, 13 firefighter standbys, and 31 public assists. Next slide. In the county, we ran a total of 226 medical aids, 1 code blue, 77 vegetation fires, 235 vehicle accidents, 39 vehicle fires, 79 structure fires, 31 debris fires, 45 alarm soundings, 10 false alarms, 7 firefighter standbys, 11 public assists, and 2 hazardous material releases in the county. Our year-end totals for 2016 was 1,514 calls. 862 of those were within the city. Correction, 951 was within the city. 563 was in the county. We had roughly a 60% response from PCFs, and then 14% of station coverage. Roughly 78% of those calls were here within the city of Livingston. This month's training, we had all of the battalion personnel. We took a tour for the Foster Farms facility. We'll be doing 2 separate tours to ensure that we encompass all the personnel assigned to the battalion. And then we'll be doing also touring Gallo and Hillmore Cheese as well, just to get our personnel familiar with the setup, where its fire panels are located, its pump panels, so that way we can increase our knowledge when we respond there for emergency incidents. The volunteers will be doing, I got you. The volunteers will be doing a respiratory emergency response and spinal immobilization, just so that way it's their annual monthly training, just to keep up on their EMS skills. For 2017, there's a couple fire prevention programs that the department will be trying to get out to the public. The first one is Remembering When, and it's a program that allows, it's created by NFPA, and it's a program that allows the it's to increase awareness for our senior citizens community, so that way they could they'll have the ability to live longer and safer within their homes. And it's all centered around fall protection and fire protection, so that way it enhances their awareness when they're at home, so to not have to rely on the care, well-being of, or not have to rely on other personnel to assist them. And then our second one's going to be the smoke detectors. We're trying to encourage the communities to inspect their smoke detectors, look at the manufacture date, and identify what that date is. And if it's beyond 10 years, then the department here will exchange those smoke detectors for them. Installation is not included, but they can bring their smoke detectors down, and we have a form that they can fill out, and we'll exchange that for them. One of the things that we'll be doing here locally is we'll be setting up a couple of presentations for our senior citizens community. So we'll have personnel come down. They'll pass out brochures. They'll have like games set up, and it's kind of like a remembering game. And as the community gets, depending upon how well the senior citizens do, will dictate what kind of prizes they get. So, if the public does, or if the community does real well as far as playing the different games, our prevention program has different prizes that they're going to pass out to the community, or to the citizens that wins the highest points. Some of the things that I want to talk about, if you get the lights for me. some of the things I want to talk about that's coming ahead in 2017. So we look back at some of the things that we did in 2016, and what we try to do is identify, accomplishments department-wide, and it kind of gives us a gauge as to what we've accomplished, kind of where we were going, and it gives us somewhat of a platform to where we need to be going in 2017. So 2016, some of the things that we did with the Livingston Fire Department. We attended the Cinco de Mayo Festival, the 4th of July Festival, and the Sweet Potato Festival. We had personnel and equipment at every football game to ensure the safety and well-being of not just the players, but anyone that had any medical emergencies at the games. Company 96, the volunteers, they held their annual pancake breakfast and the fundraisers, and all the funds that are raised during that are utilized to buy equipment that enhances support or services for the community, and it's also sometimes they're donated back into the community when we go out and we buy candy canes or toys or whatnot, and we give raffle prizes off to the community. The station personnel, as well as the neighboring facilities, we held the boot drive, and we raised the second largest amount countywide, which was $4,690. Truck 96 Truck 1 was 27 years old, but we were able to use it to help put up some of the lights around town and actually help put the star up here on the Christmas tree. Prevention Week, we had Station 96 as well as the Belico Station personnel come out, and they gave presentations to the kids at Selma School. We sent Truck 91 over to Gustine to assist with the 9/11 parade, to hang the banner up, and as well as we had some participated in some school presentations on 9/11 as well. And one of the things that I'm looking for 2017 is, this is roughly about almost 2 years that I've been here representing the city, and I'm excited from where we are, or where we were, to where we are to where we're going. I see some good things, not just for the community, but for the department as well. And I'm looking forward to working with each council member and the county supervisor as well. Thank you.
Hello. I guess it's time for overviews from the department. So I wanted to do not an annual overview, but just the last 6 months for what's been going on in planning and community development activities. So I wanted to kind of remind you of a major accomplishment that we did at the start of the fiscal year in July and then going into August and September. We adopted a new housing element to our general plan, and that's kind of a big deal. And so it was for the period 2016 through 2024. And so during while our adoption was right at the beginning of the year, we submitted to the state of California one of the few parts of general plans that have to be reviewed by the state, and they reviewed our housing element, found it to be in full compliance with state law, and certified it. So that's an important milestone to achieve. That our city attorney can indicate that gives us a certain amount of status in terms of approving projects and so forth, and not having one is a certain amount of legal jeopardy. So we've accomplished that. And we did approve a variety of other items. We did, no particular order, we did, and it came before you, approve a site plan design review for an infill home on Swan Street. We adopted the new building codes that are every 3 years. So we adopted the 2016 through 2019 version. You might recall we relocated a food truck from in front of True Value hardware store to in front of the Main Street car wash just around the corner. More significantly, we approved house plans for the remaining 21 lots within the Devonta Villas or Mansionettes subdivision. Those are in plan check now, so we're filling in some of the gaps within our existing residential subdivisions. We're also in the process of going through plan check to help fill in the 62 lots, a bigger project for the Rancho Estrada project, La Tierra. It's by Robin Hood and F Street. We did finalize and had the pleasure of doing the final inspection just last week of our nice 5150 boxing facility, and I think it's a real asset to the community in the downtown. And so those are some of the planning things we did. In the process, and it'll come before you just a little bit later on the agenda tonight, is the approval of the Panda Express Chinese restaurant on Winton Parkway. We're well into coming through the Planning Commission, and we'll come to you at your next meeting for a parcel map, environmental approval, and site plan design review for the Livingston Community Health Project and Campus. That's on the south side of B Street, right at Winton Parkway. That's a very large project and very beneficial for the city. And so you'll hear a lot more about that during your next council meeting. That will help to move forward the extension of Winton Parkway. We are moving forward with Motel 6. As you know, there's construction. We did approve the foundation permits for that, and that's been going forward. They're into plan check for the balance of the development. They've had a little bit of delays. They've had a changeover in some of their project engineer and some of their plans. So we anticipate with excitement that we'll get those updated plans in the next week or so, and then we can continue on that project. We do have in the process, it'll go eventually, it'll come to you as well, an expansion for the kitchen and dining hall of the Sikh Temple on Peach Street and Dwight Way. That one's coming forward. And we've got 2 mini storage buildings in our mini storage facility out on Walnut. And so that's coming forward. We are working diligently to bring to you a 6-lot subdivision on, we call it the Gallo subdivision on Joseph Gallo Drive, that will extend Joseph Gallo Drive to Robin and facilitate that whole part of our community. And so that are a variety of projects that planning is looking at. On the building side, we have issued 30 permits for homes in the Sun Valley Estate subdivision, and that's building out and filling in those projects. We've had some building permits for Foster Farms, for a wastewater pretreatment system. We relocated Horizons Unlimited from just south of Hammett to in the downtown area, reinforcing the downtown in terms of activities. We've may not have noticed it, but if you drive around, there are more solar panels on homes. We did 38 permits in the last 6 months for roof-mounted solar. We did a variety of remodels and additions in the community, re-roofs, and variety of miscellaneous other permits, so that we're moving forward actually a little bit faster than we thought we would 6 to 9 months ago in terms of building activity. And so we've had a productive 6 months, and that productivity, especially in filling in our residential subdivisions, looks like it's going to continue on a strong note. And so the first half of this fiscal year has been successful, and we look forward to moving it forward. Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you for your attention.
And I did want to let the community know that I have not got a lot of dates for our community calendar, so I'm putting our deadline to the 30th of this month. So if you have things that want to go that you would like to place on our community calendar, please get them to me. You can just send them to recreation@livingstoncity.com. This will help the whole community coordinate all of their dinners and special events. So it's really worth your time to just take a few minutes and get your dates on our calendar. The other thing I did want to really quickly update you is that we did have 2 thefts to our trailer out back. It has now been moved to the corp yard under lock, key, razor wire, and cameras. And but sad to say, our loss was almost $13,000. Things that belong to the children of our community. So I just want to encourage the community, when you see people where they aren't supposed to be, and you know where that is, please take a minute, call the PD, because it's not right that our kids have to suffer for somebody's possible addiction. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Max Foster, the one that you have out there, or is that?
No, we actually put it on paper,
Okay.
and we mail it out, and it will also be on the website. So let's say you want to schedule, a dinner, you can go on there on a date that you would like and see, is there 3 other things going on that day? Might not be a good day.
All right. And now that we have our electronic board, I'm sure you could probably utilize to advertise like youth baseball, softball, swim team,
Mhm.
so that hopefully that would get out to the community, the kids, to sign up for things. Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Council. Go ahead, council member.
Jackie, did you want the church events too? So like we do the Mochi Festival every year at the Methodist Church, and we have the different bailes at the Catholic Church. Did you want those, if we have those dates submitted
Things
to
that
you
are
as well?
open to the community, maybe
Right.
not items that are parish particular or church
Or
particular,
the ones
but
that are community, everyone's
right,
invited
the
to
ones that
events,
where
like
everyone's
posadas?
invited to the community, those are the kinds of things we want.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and Council. A few updates here. I want to thank all the departments and our volunteers for assisting with the storm preparedness and for assisting us on the addressing the issues out in the community. I think our Public Works Department, along with all the other volunteers and Police Department and Fire, did a great job. We expect more rain this week, so we are going to be hopefully a lot more prepared for that. As far as the current fiscal year, we're doing an internal financial review on our year-to-date progress. As Randy stated earlier, we are seeing a little more activity than what we projected on development. So it looks like our fees, our construction fees, are a little bit higher than what we projected originally. Overall, we don't anticipate any major challenges. I think we're within our projections on the budget that was adopted. I do want to communicate to the council that we don't anticipate a budget revision for this year. I think we're going to focus on the new year, and I'm starting the discussions with all the departments to prepare us for the next budget cycle, and I do want to reach out to the council. We are going to probably have 1 or 2 workshops, or maybe 3 workshops to gather input and give the community as well a chance to provide input on what they'd like us to focus on, or the priorities for next fiscal year. We are going to be looking at a grant opportunity to submit for a fire grant safer program. I think it's due at the end of March. There there is a need for us to hire a consultant. None of our consultants have experience with that program. So I'll be reaching out to a few vendors out there, consultants, to see if we can actually engage in a new contract. As far as the Steam contract, we have reached an agreement with the Steam for the 5-year dispatching service renewal, and that should come before the council next month. I believe Gustine already approved it, and it will come back to council in February. We're currently working on year-end activity. Payroll W-2s need to be submitted, as well as the 1099s. So my department is working on that, and I'm working on personnel and also fiscal policies that the city should consider and adopting in the near future. As far as the Paloworks security system, we have a new system in place. There's a need for us to add a couple more security cameras for several facilities out there. We had several vandalism issues in the last 5 years, so we're working in enhancing those areas, and also addressing all of our network and equipment and vehicle needs as well. So we're trying to maximize the budget that we have for this year, and so we're conducting meetings with the departments.
Well, I wanted to thank the current council for my appointment tonight. I greatly appreciate it. I want to say I really appreciate the city of Livingston, truly the city that made me. When I first came here, I was a field worker, and now I'm a government affairs director of a major corporation. So it's amazing, with the love and support of your community, the things you really can accomplish. I wanted to announce I was accepted into the Well Untapped Fellowship. So I'll be representing the city of Livingston across the state, working on water policy issues. It's a weekend every month and a couple week events where we're focusing on water policy across the state. I also got appointed to the League of California Cities Transportation Commission. So that first commission meeting is actually this Friday. So I'll be up in Sacramento on Thursday and Friday representing us on focusing on statewide transportation issues. And that's it. I'll have to report for right now. Thank you.
Just want to say thank you for different departments that worked together for get prepared for the rain, for the storm. I appreciate that.
Just want to reiterate the thanks to all the departments, department heads, recreation, police department, fire department, all the hard work, especially Art. Actually, I was out one night, and Odie remembers this. I was calling because there was no sandbags, and Art actually responded and got all the sandbags that were out there for the community. And it was after, I think it was like 11 o'clock at night, so a big thanks for him. Also, look forward to a great year. I mean, working with the community, and our council members and our county supervisor. And I want to actually encourage the community to come out to our meetings and let us know what concerns they have in the community. Also, real quick, there's a challenge that I got a text earlier from Maria Baptista. It's on January 19th at the Livingston Middle School. They're actually wanting adult parents or any adult supervision. It's not challenging. It's Rachel State. She was the first student killed in Columbine, and they've named something for the middle schools. They go out and do encouragement to students. I was there last year and expect to be there this year, but they're wanting more adult participation, and it's January 19th from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it's basically you're there all day with the kids. It's pretty much all I have to report, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now that we have a full council membership, I would like to, through the mayor, of course, on our next meeting, I'd like to put up the committee, bring the item for the committee assignments. And also, we've been holding off this a long time, but we need to get this started. New year, new ideas, is to go ahead and adopt our city logo it's been kind of put away, and I think schools have had a chance to participate now. So we need to go ahead and move forward and adopt it so we can go ahead and get that done. And other than that, that's all I have for tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
I just came back from mosquito abatement. It's interesting that a lot of the things that you wouldn't think involved abatements and mosquitoes. So I'll be in learning process for that. So I hope to pick that up quickly. And again, want to thank all staff for being proactive and preparing for a storm. And looks like we're going to get more water. And I look forward to, I'm very proud to, serve the city of Livingston, and I look forward to, moving and getting us in the striving mode and, being efficient to our community. And also, I'd like to, as soon as I settle in a little bit better, I'd like to start maybe having once on a Saturday, once a month, involve the community and pick different restaurants and have mayor or coffee with the mayor, so I could listen to communities and get involved, and I could sit down one-on-one with people. So I hope to start that real soon once I get settled in, and people want to come out and have a cup of coffee with me. I'd like to sit down and listen to our community. So other than that, I don't have anything else. Thank you staff. It's you're well appreciated. Your hard work doesn't go unnoticed.
Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, since we did not have the appointments on this agenda, it is important that we do have someone there for LAFCO this month. Is there any chance that we can still do that appointment now since it's an emergency scenario, or I can't remember how you guys set up last time. I think it was either you or Paul were to fill those empty ones, so if we can just make sure Paul goes to this one, that would be much appreciated.
If it's okay with the council, I will attend as a non-appointed member for this time.
And I think that is consistent, as you mentioned, Councilmember McCabe, that is consistent with the action that the council took, so it's not a new item.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I think on our next meeting, we should have all our appointments now that we're all five. Number 3, resolution approving site plan and designing review 2016-02 to construct a Panda Express Chinese restaurant at 412 Winton Parkway, Livingston, California.
Okay, thank you. Having a little interdepartmental coordination here as the chief helps to load up the PowerPoint, and our clicker I don't think is working, so yeah, there's 2 in there, not that one. Panda Express. That's the one. So run that. Okay. Okay, I'll give it a go. Hey, maybe we're in great shape. Okay, thanks. Well, what we have before you is a resolution approving a site plan and development review of the Panda Express Chinese restaurant at 412 Winton Parkway. This is a new restaurant. The location you can see on the screen. It's on Winton Parkway in front of Rancho San Miguel, vacant pad there. And this is a new restaurant, approximately 2,600 square feet in floor area, with almost 1,100 square feet being the dining area. It's a rectangular shaped building. I'll show you the site plan. Here it is. And let me get my little laser pointer here. here's Winton Parkway. This is the building, the whole pad. And this is the turn-in way that leads into Rancho San Miguel. So it's on that location. And the building is oriented such that the kitchen facilities and so forth are in this part of the building, and all the dining facilities in the part of the building that faces the parking lot at Rancho San Miguel. The floor plan identifies that there are 66 seats in the building itself, and we have an adjacent patio area, and you can kind of see this in the plan, that would have approximately 16 seats in the patio area, and that whole area is roughly 14 by 13. There is a drive-through window. It's located right adjacent to Winton Parkway, and the drive-through lane enters right here and goes around. You order, drive around, and then pick up your items at the window, and then go out and exit in the same vicinity that you entered. And so that whole drive-through area allows for stacking for about 8 cars. And so we feel that is more than sufficient for the stacking purposes. There are, as part of this project, they have 26 parking spaces that would be part of the site, and 26 parking spaces is the amount that they need for both the inside dining area and the outdoor patio area. And so they fully comply with the standards. They also are proposing a trash enclosure located where it's accessible by the trash truck. There is landscaping, buffering the drive-through lane on Winton Parkway, and there are various landscape islands, and those have landscaping. The landscaping is consistent with the selection of trees that are on the city's landscape guidelines, and consistent with what's in the parking lot presently in front of Rancho San Miguel. They are also proposing shrubs and so forth in addition to trees. They are proposing I believe it's 6 different shrub species, 2 of which are specifically identified within our design guidelines, and 4 which are not. And so I've done some research on the landscape material, and those are consistent with the standards in terms of being drought tolerant, and indeed several of those species of shrubs are located elsewhere in the city, and so they're very consistent with what we've got. And so as part of the resolution, I'm suggesting that you specifically adopt that finding, which shows that that's fine to have those additional shrubs. Here is the floor plan, which I referred to earlier. The dining area is located where I'm pointing now. Restrooms here, a male and female, and all of this area is preparation and kitchen and food storage, and the drive-up window, I believe, is somewhere around in this vicinity, so that serves that drive-through traffic. The building itself, here we have some elevations, and I have additional slide with elevations, and I've tried to put up here behind me colored renderings showing elevations. But what it does show is that consistent with our design guidelines, it has a variety of colors and textures. and it starts out with a wainscoting material that you can kind of see here. It goes up approximately 2 to 3 feet, adds kind of a base to the architecture. And then above that, there's a stucco, and it's in, let's see, pardon me while I look for the description of the colors. Let's see here. That was, oh, here it is. It's in a kind of a hickory color, and you probably can't see it very well, but here's the color material, and it shows some of that. And as you can see, they're in earth tones, and there is a decking type of material in shades of a medium brown. And as you can see on the colored elevation here, it provides some accents and texture to the building. Also on the other elevation, there are trellis features. This is facing Winton Parkway. Here's the drive-through window, and there's a trellis feature over that, and a trellis feature to add some visual interest. This is the front entrance facing the parking lot. You have 2 doors here. Again, there's a kind of a trellis, awning type feature, trellis here. Different colors of materials is indicated in the staff report and shown. And all that is to add some interest and texture to the building so that it blends in nicely and makes a nice complement to the commercial area there. They haven't specifically identified what the signage is, but they have indicated that this area will have their Panda Express signage. There'll be some Panda Express signage as well on the this side of the building, and they are proposing on their site plan that they may have a pole sign. But all those would be subject to staff review, and the conditions within the proposed resolution indicates that would be subject to staff review and approval, as is the parking lot lighting, so that it will shine on the parking lot and the building and not be glare to the other areas of the community. And so it went to the Planning Commission and on December the 13th, and the Planning Commission reviewed all of the colors and the design and the site layout and the landscaping, and they determined that all of that was positive to the area and a enhancement to the much better than empty lot that's there now, and it would generate some additional tax revenue and provide additional dining opportunities for the traveling public as well as our residents within the community. So they did approve the site plan design review, recommending your approval of that. So they made a positive recommendation to you based upon the conditions that are within the proposed resolution. And so staff recommends that as well. We have all the city departments looked at the conditions, and we feel that's an appropriate set of conditions, and this is termed an infill project as far as environmental issues go, and so we are proposing that that we'll file a notice of exemption, an infill exemption, after final approval of this action. And some things that are important to note in the conditions of approval is that they will participate in any future landscape and lighting maintenance district that the city established there, and participate in other assessment districts that would contribute on a proportionate basis to police needs or fire needs and other street and roadway needs. And so while we're in the process of trying to bring that to you, we did have that as a condition that they would participate in that when and if that develops, and they agreed to that. And so that's, I think, something to call out specifically. So that concludes my formal presentation, and if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to address them.
I'll make a motion. I move we approve resolution approving the site plan and design review 2016-02 to construct a Panda Express Chinese restaurant at 412 Winton Parkway, Livingston, California.
Second. Second. Motion from Councilmember McCabe and a second from Councilmember Aguilar. Can I get roll call, please?
Councilmember McCabe,
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilar,
Yes.
Councilmember Siqueiros,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra,
Yes.
Mayor Soria.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote 5-0.
Next, we'll move on to citizen comments. This section of the agenda allows members of the public to address the city council on any item not otherwise in the agenda. Members of the public, when recognized by the mayor, should come forward to the lectern and identify themselves. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. In accordance with state open meeting laws, no action will be taken by the city council this evening. For items which are on the agenda this evening, members of the public will be provided an opportunity to address the city council as each item is brought up for discussion.
Catherine Shell Rodriguez, P.O. Box 163. First, I'm going to start out with saying, congratulations to all our electeds and appointeds, and looking forward to a great new year. The city attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, but the written meeting minutes that the council approves are only a summary of took place at any given meeting. The complete official minutes are the digital ones. That's where there's a problem. It used to be videos of meetings would usually be up on the city website by at most the next day. Copies of video on disc would be available in at least a couple of days, give or take a few, but always within a reasonable length of time. That's not happening anymore. If you were to go to the city website right now, you would see the last meeting uploaded is the meeting of September 20th in black and white. When I asked about getting a copy of the last meeting in December, I was told there was no video. It was audio only, and that audio would not be available until January. I'm still waiting. The last set of draft minutes that I recall being approved by the council is for October 4th. October, November, December, January. The last video is from September. October, November, December, January. I want to know what is going on to where all of a sudden things seem to have gone to hell in a handbasket. I don't understand why, for years, I could go on the city's website the next day and view the video from the night before. Now I can't anymore. Can anyone give me an answer as to what is going on? Why is it so difficult to make this video available to the public if it is indeed the official meeting minutes?
Yeah, good evening, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the December 20th audio, a disc of the audio. So, direct question. When can I expect an audio disc of this meeting to be ready for pickup? How long is it going to take?
I think, Odie, you can check on that tomorrow with staff and with IT or whoever does the audio, and we could get back to Catherine on that tomorrow.
Thank you, Michelle. I know I'd like me personally to try and upgrade our website and make it a little bit more user-friendly, so we'll definitely work on that. Yes, Councilman?
In the meantime, Rochelle, if you want, I'll give you my cell phone before these meetings start, and why don't we just stream it live on Facebook, and then there will be a public account available. If we can't seem to fix it with the IT services program, which concerns me, where I think we may need to be looking at another provider if they can't fix this problem within 6 months, that you and I can fix it automatically by just using my cell phone next time.
Good evening again, Rodrigo Espinoza. Yeah, I was going to get up again and ask. I want to make sure that each council member, when they speak closely to the mic, and sometimes you can't even hear at home. And that's the other problem we had from people at home, that we haven't had a good system. And I think that's what Oda's been trying to say, is that I know he told me last month that we were thinking of upgrading because we had issues with the system, but it needs to be done quick. And I know you guys, Oda, you're overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, but it does need to be, that's a priority. I think it should be for the council because, like I said, we need to be open and make sure that everything is there for the citizens, of Livingston, to make sure that the recordings are there, the videos are there, and that they're listening to home instantly if they want to, go to channel 2 or live stream, and also too, like the mayor said, I think that the whatever it needs to design, the web address or whatever needs to be improved. I think we have an old system as well. The website is pretty old, and I think to make sure that it's better design. I think you can work closely with Gropal to make sure that we have a new design. I think people have been frustrated with a website for a long time, and especially with all our programs. It needs to be improved a lot. So I think that's another priority for the council, I think, and make sure that they listen. And also too, as my service, I like to piggyback with the mayor on the mayor's coffee. I'm available as well to attend those meetings, and whatever I can help out there, in English and Spanish or any other language. We need Group Paul there. We make sure that we're not breaking the Brown Act no more with just two, you and me. So we'll be glad to be there, and in any language we can help any citizen in our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor, and I'll get together with you and correlate dates that would work good for you and our Vice Mayor. And we will look into upgrading and improving our services. That's definitely one thing I'd like to make sure that the community is informed and they're able to hear us and see us. I know sitting as a council member, my wife would sometimes text me, I can't hear you or I can't see. So we do have some work to get accomplished, but I'm sure we'll move accordingly and quickly as possible to correct it.
Hello, Mayor, Council, and staff. First of all, congratulations to the newly elected Mayor and Council. Congratulations. My name is Julio Valadez, P.O. Box 777, Livingston, California, and I'm here to make a request. In light of the last two city manager search results, I would like to strongly recommend that you search for a new city manager by incorporating the following elements. First of all, use a new and different search firm. Cast the net search statewide. Come up with profile of the characteristics and values that the new city manager should employ. Commission a resident search committee of 6 to 8 people. Establish 2 committees to review and interview the applicants who will forward the top 5 candidates to the City Council for final action. I suggest that committee should be made up as follows: 3 to 4 professionals from the city, and 3 to 4 community residents. The last 2 city manager searches have been done behind closed doors, and the community has had no input, and we still have a vacancy for city manager. I believe that if you implement these recommendations, it can make for a more transparent process and will empower the community to become engaged. I believe that the search for the last police chief used a very similar process, and we ended up with a real good chief. I believe that was a similar process. I don't know if Rodrigo knows, but to get to look for a chief of police, and we ended up with Police Chief Ruben Chavez. So I think that that's something that you should look into, so that we can have a city manager that is efficient and keep him here for a while. I also wanted to for you to keep in mind our former city manager, Jose Antonio Ramirez. I think it was Ramirez. Anyways, but also get him through the same process. Obviously he would have to go through the same process. So that's just a recommendation on that for the new city manager. I'm gonna move on to other things. We wanted to invite you guys to the Knights of Columbus free throw competition that is this Sunday, the 22nd at Livingston Middle School. It's at 1 p.m. This is gonna be it is the 29th annual. We've been doing it for 29 years. Most of those years there was Mr. Ramon Avila that was doing it. But anyways, we invite you all to come if you're available this Sunday, 1 p.m. at Livingston Middle School. I also wanted to invite you all, council members and the mayor, and even the attorney, he can come too, to the 6th annual Knights of Columbus Kite Festival. It'll be held on Sunday, April 9th. if I have a little bit more time, I wanted to reiterate what Councilman Siqueiros had mentioned. Rachel's Challenge is an organization that works to reduce violence. It is led by Daryl Scott and his wife Sandy. Rachel Scott is the first student killed in the Columbine High School shooting in 1999. Daryl Scott, Rachel's father, established Rachel's Talent to perpetuate his daughter's example and 2-page code of ethics. I'm just going to skip most of it. So her code of ethics was compassion is the greatest form of love humans have to offer. That's what it's about. They do need volunteers like Councilman Siqueiros had mentioned, and if anyone's of you are available, you should contact the school, or unless you have another contact person. Oh, Maria Baptista? Okay. I did also have the video challenges in my notes, and it's been a long time since it's worked at all. Thank you, guys. For Rachel's Challenge is this Thursday.
To add on to Julio's comments, I would like to challenge the council on a free throw contest. Maybe next year, and I know 1 week is probably too short for you guys, but maybe next year I can add for the 30th year. Be nice, the supervisor will take on the city council on the free throw contest, so that'll give you some time to practice. Okay, so yeah, free throw or 3-pointers, no problem.
Mr. Supervisor, we appreciate your comment, but in the future, please follow our procedure of one comment per.
You had 3 minutes.
He was using his last 20 seconds.
Any other comments from the public? All right, thank you. We'll close that at 8:50, and we'll move on to consent agenda. Item number 4, council authorized purchase of a new police vehicle. Item 5, council authorized staff to contract for the construction of a security wall at rear entrance of police building. Item 6, resolution to file and record notice of completion with County of Merced for the well. Number 17, improvements and wellhead treatment. Item 7, resolution to file and record notice of completion with County of Merced for the replacement playground equipment project at Don Meyer Park. Item 8, approval of warrant register dated January 3rd, 2017. Item 9, approval of warrant register dated January 12th, 2017.
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve the consent calendar.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Siqueiros. Can I get roll call, please?
Councilmember McCabe,
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilar,
Yes.
Councilmember Siqueiros,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra,
Yes.
Mayor Soria.
Yes.
Consent calendar passes by vote of 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, before we go on to the next time, I'd just like to be excused from the dais for a couple of minutes. You can turn the meeting. I'll be just.
Go ahead. We'll move on to discussion and potential action items. Number 10, resolution required by the State Water Resources Control Board as part of the DWSRF application to construct improvement at well number 16 and well number 14. And number 11, approving amendment number 2 to the contract. Oh, it's just, okay, we'll move on to number 10.
Mayor, members of the council, new members. I'm Alfonso Manrique. I'm with the engineer's office with engineering. And this item tonight includes the adoption of 3 resolutions that are required by the State Water Resources Control Board as part of the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund application that we are planning to submit to request funding to construct the second TCP treatment facility for the city. That will be at well 16, and it will treat water from well 16 as well as well 14. Just a little background for those new council members that haven't been here that long. But TCP is a constituent that it's in the groundwater. It's a foreign constituent, it's a pesticide that was applied years ago. TCP will soon be regulated by the Division of Drinking Water, respecting that it will be regulated as soon as this spring. Most of the city wells have or contain TCP at concentrations that exceed the proposed MCL. The city received a settlement a few years back for TCP mitigation or remediation efforts. These resolutions are part of a proactive effort towards remediating this TCP. Even though it's a non-regulated chemical yet, it will soon be regulated, and we understand that the process of requesting funding, designing the system, and constructing the system is a process that can take up to 2 years, even more. So we want to be proactive and submit this application to the state requesting funding to construct this new system. So as part of the application package, there are 3 resolutions that are typical of these packages. We've done this in the past here in the city. One is an authorizing resolution, authorizing your interim city manager to sign and file the application. The second one is what they call a PRF resolution, which is authorizing the city manager to sign all the disbursement requests and also pledging revenues to pay the loan. And the third one is a resolution just stating the intention to be reimbursed for any expenditures that are incurred on this loan. So with that, I mean, if there are any questions, I'll take questions now.
All right, thank you. I'll open it up for public comment.
Catherine Shell Rodriguez again. Looking at the staff report at the very bottom under the discussion, where they're talking about the city is no longer considered a disadvantaged community, and it would be likely that this will be all in loans. The city will pay the loan back using net revenues from the water fund. I would appreciate it if we could have a little bit more of an explanation as to why we are no longer considered a disadvantaged community for purposes of this application, and also just a quick explanation for the newbies in the audience of what net revenues from the water fund would be.
So yes, the state, when it comes to awarding funds from the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, they qualify communities based as disadvantaged based on median household income, and median household incomes are published by the census, and they come in like 4-year cycles. So I think the most recent one that was published in December was the 2011-2015, and the city of Livingston's median household income, I don't know exactly the number, but I think is about 50,000 now, and that's above 60% of the state's median household income. So I think it's 80% is disadvantaged and 60% is severely disadvantaged. So it's above 80%. So the city will no longer qualify as a disadvantaged community, which puts the city in a category where the only source of funds that are available is loans, not principal forgiveness or grants. And as far as the means to pay this back would be net revenues from the water system. So basically, would be funds from the water rates from the that are collected from the city.
All right, thank you. Any other comments? Close that at 8:57, and we'll go to resolution item 1. We have discussion. Any motions?
I know there's 3 resolutions. Do we have to do them individually, or can we do them all at once?
Doing them individually for the record.
Should I read number 1 out loud?
Okay. Yeah, back here. Okay, excuse me. It's gonna take some reading here, so I'll make the motion to adopt Resolution 2017 titled a resolution of City Council of City of Livingston authorizing interim city manager to sign the finance agreement amended and certification for funding under the drinking water state revolving fund. Authorize city manager to approve the claims for reimbursement. Authorize the city manager to execute budget and expenditure summary. Authorize the interim city manager to sign the final release and form, and city manager to sign the certification of the project completion and pledging and dedicating net water revenues from the city from to payments to the DWSRP financing.
Okay, we have a motion from Vice Mayor Samra. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilmember Sicaros. Roll call, please.
Councilmember McCabe.
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilar.
Yes.
Councilmember Sicairos.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Mayor Soria.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to, number 2, make the motion to adopt a resolution titled a resolution from the City Council of City of Livingston stating that its intentions to be reimbursed for expenditures incurred ahead of the approval of the disbursement of the DWSRF construction funds from the State Water Resource Control Board.
Have a motion for item 2. A second?
I second it.
Second from Councilmember Aguilar. Roll call, please.
Councilmember McCabe.
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilar.
Yes.
Councilmember Sicairos.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Mayor Soria.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make the motion that we adopt Resolution 2017 titled the Resolution of City Council of the City of Livingston authorize the interim city manager to sign and file a financial assistance application to the State Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, DWSRF, for the planning, design, and construction of the well number 16 and 14 arsenic and TCP removal treatment system improvements.
A motion from Vice Mayor Samra on item 3. I'll go and second it.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember McCabe.
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilar.
Yes.
Councilmember Sicairos.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Mayor Soria.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote 5-0.
Next, we have item 11, resolution approving amendment number 2 to the contract agreement between the City of Livingston and HDL Corin and Cone to continue providing support services in property tax areas and authorizing the interim city manager to execute a 3-year service contract extension.
Yep, good evening, Mayor and Council. I highly recommend the Council to consider this item. It's a 3-year contract renewal with HDL, Corin and Cone. They have been providing support in several areas for several years now. This particular item covers property tax. That basically covers reporting to us on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, and they also assist with budget projections and audits as well as needed. They've been doing businesses with the City of Livingston and with other surrounding communities and cities throughout the state. They also provide services in sales tax for the City of Livingston in the same manner as they do for property tax reviews and assessments. And they are proposing a 3-year contract renewal at an annual fee of $5,500. It's a $500 increase compared to the previous contract. Again, my recommendation is that you honor the renewal. It's a great benefit to have for us that we normally conduct internal reviews in property taxes and also for budget projections.
Thank you, Mr. Odie. I'll go and open it up to public comment. 902. nobody coming forward, so I'll close it back at 9:02 and open for discussion or motions.
Yeah, I'll support this, but in general, I do not like no bid contracts. I don't like it when we don't put stuff out to bid to see if there's other pricing potentially out there. This is such a low dollar amount that I'm happy to go with the one our interim city manager feels comfortable with. But in the future, I do appreciate staff considering other bid options on projects of these nature. So with that, if there's no one else, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, and with me, since our interim city manager says I highly will agree with that. HDL has done good work for us over the years, and we have gotten back more than we have paid. This is one way to make sure that we keep all the money we can away from the greedy county as much as possible, you know, so one way to keep our money here. So with that, and they have done a lot of research, and we have gone back and paid tenfold on what they have gotten, you know, by researching stuff that we should have gotten back. So this is a very good firm, so I will second that motion.
I have a motion from Councilmember McCabe and a second from Vice Mayor. Can I get the roll call?
Councilmember McCabe.
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilar.
Yes.
Councilmember Siqueiros.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Mayor Soria.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote 5-0.
All right, that concludes our council meeting for January 17, 2017. Thank you for coming. Drive safely. Have a good night.